but if somebody is starting out and is attracted to, this demographic, how do you get into I mean, you explained your story, which is kind of a unique story. Do you have any tips or advice for people who want to get into, sports and entertainment or interacting with that client base?
Yeah, I'd say, don't be somebody, first of all, who is the word will get out, you'll become known, you'll get the referrals, but you have to do it humbly, and you have to do it without ego and without trying to publicize yourself. There's many times where I'm with a star, whatever, and I'm saying, man, this is so cool. I wish I could just tell so many people about this, but let that thought go and don't do it. Don't post, don't ask for the selfie, don't do those things, because that's what's going to alienate you, especially with this crowd. But I think in general, like you've carved out for yourself, Martin, as well. I mean, for somebody starting off in the business, whether it's sports and entertainment, whether it's equestrian properties, whether it's historic homes, whatever it is, I think find a niche and like you alluded to earlier, become a product expert, know that craft because people respect it, become like the rainmaker. When I started off in office leasing, my mentor taught me something that was really valuable to me at the time. He said, look, man, you don't really have much to offer. I'm going to be straight up with you, but I want you to know who developed every office building. I want you to know who the tenants are. I want you to know how many square feet. I want you to know how well occupied they are. I want you to know every detail of every building so that when you come to meetings, if you don't learn this stuff now, you're not going to learn it later. You're going to be busy. And I was able to go to meetings and start kind of spouting out some things that were interesting. And people would look at me and say, oh, this guy's a rainmaker. I wasn't the rainmaker. I just had a lot of information. But,
Right.
if it's a market, know every condo building, know who the developers are, know who the home builders are, understand quality finishes, learn about architectural styles. All these things are important. And sometimes when you get busy, you kind of gloss over some of those details. And for someone starting out, that's what you can do and really learn and know that product, like you said.
That's great. I really appreciate that, Ben. I mean, I think that's it. Know your stuff, be humble, be authentic. And then what I really like picking up from you is that, a lot of these high profile people probably have so many people asking them for things, and everything that you've talked about has been about giving them things, right? I'm giving them knowledge. I'm giving them information. I'm not turning it into an expose. I'm treating them like a human. And I think that's all really great, great words of wisdom, Ben. So,
yeah,
so thank you.
For sure. One last thing, Martin, on that, as far as the teaching part, I always ask the clients, maybe they don't want to have a conversation, but I always ask, do you understand, okay, you're financing this property. Has your financial advisor explained to you how a mortgage amortizes? Have they talked to you about why it's important to prepay, especially as a professional athlete, to prepay some principal in the early years of the mortgage, and why that matters? Because obviously they're only making money for a certain period of time. So even if they're taking out a 10-year loan or a 30-year mortgage or something like that, it's important for them to understand this stuff. I'd say 90% of the time, these guys have no idea even what I'm talking about, which means that their financial advisors, their sports agents are not discussing these things with them. And, I try to kind of teach them, and it depends on personality types, and you have to understand who you're dealing with and their level of attention to detail, and do they want to learn? Because some of them, they just don't care, and you can't really help some of those people. But I find that most of them do care. They want to know, they want to take accountability. They just don't know what they don't know. So if you can, from the right perspective, and not make them feel stupid or ignorant or dumb, but make them feel like, hey, I can learn something from this guy, and you do it in like bite-sized pieces and help them, they really appreciate that. So I think, again, it goes back to knowing the product, but that doesn't include just real estate. It includes financing, it includes appraisals, it includes running them through the process. Like, how does this process even work for a first-time home buyer?
Right.
That.
Wow. That's great, Ben. I really, that's true. So you're not only like in real estate, you're expanding on the outside. And look, you're teaching them to be adults. Like you said, oftentimes they come in young, and as they mature, it's a lot of pressure on them, a lot of learning in a short period of time.